Okay, welcome. So if you've just joined us, thanks for jumping on. My name's Katie Larking. I'm doing a presentation today on stem cell support. And we want to look at some ingredients and find out if those ingredients can really make a difference in your life, in your well-being, how you feel, how you look. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. So if you're watching us on Facebook in the group, welcome. Dr. Kurt is unable to join us today, and yes, he's had some sad news, but we look forward to him hopefully jumping on next week, and we are thinking of him and his family at this time. So I will proceed with the information today, and I've put together some slides for you. And so hopefully you find this information useful and insightful, educational, and that is really the intent of this information, is to really help you get a better understanding of general health, overall health and well-being. So hopefully you can see my slides now. Let's see here. Yep. Okay, so I'll just minimize my screen here, my face. So just a quick medical disclaimer before I start today. So none of the information that I'm sharing has been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, and the ingredients discussed in this presentation are not designed or intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness. And if you are taking medication, have a pre-existing medical condition, it's best to consult your healthcare provider before taking something. I'll just Ian, if you wouldn't mind muting everyone out there, that'd be great. Thanks, Ian. Got Ian as a co-host helping me out today, so thanks for doing that, Ian. It's much appreciated. So now I am going to jump into the first slide. So the topic is, have you noticed that as we get older, our energy stores seem to run out faster? Wrinkles start to appear, toxins build up in your cells, the aches and pains show up. We might feel like we're withering from the inside out, and this is known as aging. You know, the thing is, it doesn't have to be like that. We have this picture that as we get older, we get sicker. We're certainly more vulnerable to illness and disease as we age, and that's because our cells just don't function as good as they did when we were younger, and that's just part of the aging process. Cells are breaking down faster than what the body can repair, and hence we develop aging. You know, we look older, our skin starts to wrinkle, organs don't function as well as they used to. That being said, we can still enjoy vitality and health into old age. So it's really about we want to reframe that, look at all the positive things that we can be doing for ourselves as we get older, and sort of pay attention to that and look at our beliefs. You know, we've got some limiting beliefs about aging. So it's really important, I think, to examine that. And, you know, I've got family members that I find really frustrating, because I just feel that, and I was just saying this to my friend the other day, that I feel that if they just, you know, improved, you know, did some exercise, you know, watch what they eat, increase their fruit and veg, and started taking some supplements, cut out the alcohol, cut back on the caffeine, I really think that, you know, they would feel the difference between night and day. But you know, it's harder for people to make change as we get older, but it's also difficult too, because people are not sure what they should or shouldn't be doing. But, you know, there is an abundant source of information at our fingertips now, and there's plenty of information out there. So you can start doing some research, educating yourself about lifestyle changes, lifestyle improvements you can do to make yourself feel better, particularly as we age. So we're going to talk about some of those things today in this presentation. And you might wonder, what has aging got to do with decrease in energy levels? So as we age, we decline our NAD levels. And I'll talk a bit about NAD in a second, because that's kind of like, you know, for people that's quite confusing. What does that mean? But as I mentioned, cells do start to wear out, and we have what's called an increase in cellular waste. So people think of waste, you know, in their bowels, but you actually get waste in and around your cells in your body. And that requires, you know, a different method to support the body to remove that. Nutrient deficiencies also can build up. And so you may be, you know, have a nutrient deficiency when you're younger. As you get older, it can get worse, and that can result in all sorts of problems. So that's really important to identify nutrient deficiencies, aches and pains, addressing those as they arrive, and then, of course, mental stress. And I was just talking to Ian last week about, you know, overall health, and one of the key factors in aging and health, which is not often discussed, and it's something everyone can do, is social connection, having meaningful connections with people, having relationships with people. They've been doing a study. I can't remember the doctor's name, but they've been doing a study for quite some time, studying people as they age, and they found that those that lived the longest and the healthiest were the ones that had the best social connections and relationships. So I sort of found that really interesting. And I also found really interesting too that they mentioned that when they asked all the participants in their survey, do you have someone that you could call on in time of, if you really needed someone, some emergency or stressful situation? And a lot of people who actually have a partner said no, they didn't feel they could rely on their partner, which, yeah, I thought, well, that's probably not the best situation to be in. But anyway, that was kind of interesting. So, our social connections, our social activity, our relationships affect the health of our cells as well. And I think it was Ian who was saying to me the other day, it's just as important as, not smoking and, exercising is definitely having those social connections. So that's another thing too I love about these calls. I love about the group that we have on Facebook. We've got a community, so that's also an opportunity for you to feel part of the community, feel connected, join us on these calls, contribute to the discussions. And, it's just great to have you part of our group, and we do appreciate you being in here. So I wanted to talk about NAD. So you think, oh, well, NAD, what does that actually mean? So it means nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, a bit of a tongue twister. Essentially, it's a coenzyme that's present in all living cells. It's required for energy production, but it's also required for organ function as well. And, it's required for the brain, for the eyes, ears. It impacts type 2 diabetes. It affects the kidneys, the heart, muscles, all these sort of things. So it's really important that we keep our NAD levels up as high as we can. And we're going to talk about ways that you can do that in this presentation. And it's quite interesting, really. So the older we get, the faster the NAD levels decline, as you can see from this slide here, that by the time you're 80, your NAD levels compared to when you were 40 or even the age of 10 are greatly diminished. So you just don't really have the get up and go as you would, obviously, if you're a little baby or if you're a toddler, a teenager, etc. So we want to look at what our NAD levels are doing and how we can actually naturally support those in the body and potentially boost that as well, because we don't have an endless supply and it does decline as we age. And this is why we found that people who take the ingredients that I'm going to talk today about in the presentation, particularly those that are sort of 70, 75, 80, 85, they do tend to notice a significant difference in their general energy levels. And this diagram here really explains that, because when you're at like such a low level because of your age, it doesn't take that much to get the feeling of an increase of energy and feeling a lot better. So, there's really a lot we can do as we're aging. So I've got a little video here. Hopefully this is playing. Let me just check that this is working. Share sound. Yep.
Here's a question for you. Does age limit you? Every morning, you and over 7.5 billion people start their day. You go to school, you go to work, you go to play. The point is, you go, you go, you go. Until, in order to go where you want to go and do what you want to do, you need energy. And on a cellular level, this is where things get messy. You see, when our cells create energy, they also create waste. Waste known as lipofuscin. This waste accumulates over time and inhibits your cell's ability to generate energy. And with our cells struggling to work efficiently, then we get hit with another type of toxic waste, called glycation. This thick, crummy sludge mucks up and damages the flow of biological activity within your stem cells, leading to increased cellular stress, decreased energy production, and eventually, cellular death. Another name for this process? Getting old. But what if we told you there was a way to live brighter, a way to live younger, more energetically, more alive? What if you could take what nature does naturally and fine-tune it with ingredients that synergize to create a powerful blend of cellular support? You could call it a cellular power wash. All that cellular sludge and buildup, gone. Your slower, inefficient cells, supercharged. In fact, this unique formula could help the entire energy process work at a more optimal level, allowing you to go where you want, when you want, and how you want. Because at the end of the day, age is just a number. Don't let it limit how you live your life.
That's a great little video. Just kind of explains about glycation, aging, NAD level. So energy increases when we do these things. So when we can increase NAD levels and support the body to do that, when we support our stem cells, when we decrease cellular waste, so the waste that builds up in and around the cells. And I've got a really cool picture to demonstrate that, to really help you understand that concept a little bit more. And obviously, if we can improve our aches and pains, we're going to feel tremendously younger. For me, that's been the biggest challenge in my life, because I was born with one leg slightly longer or shorter, however which side you look, than the other. That has caused me, tremendous challenges with musculoskeletal pain, just because the body's out of balance. So for me, that's been my biggest challenge for sure. And it's something I'm nearly on top of, but I've had to work extremely hard to do that. So everybody's got faced with their challenges. Some people might have, their challenge might be their weight. Other people might have other challenges with, mental health. But, it seems everybody's got some challenge that they're trying to manage or deal with in their life. So coping with, mental stress is really important, and addressing nutrient deficiencies. So just some examples, you could be deficient in niacin, you could be deficient in B12, iodine, could be deficient in iron, you could have too little or even too much of iron as well. So, it's important that you check with your healthcare provider and get your nutrient levels tested, and ask them to do that. And if they can't do that for you, then it might be good to find a healthcare provider that can do that for you. So let's talk a little bit about how can you get NAD from your diet. So milk is actually at the top of the list when it comes to foods that can potentially boost NAD levels naturally. However, it's not really possible, because the amount of milk you would need to consume to boost your NAD levels would be considerable. So 1,000 glasses of milk to get the NR, nicotinamide riboside, to produce the same amount as an NAD supplement containing 250 milligrams. So it's not really possible to get certain ingredients from your food. That being said, it is more important that you address the other factors first. As a health coach, I have to say, your exercise, eating right, reducing your toxic exposure, social connections, all of those things are really, really important. We don't want to just rely on a pill or ingredients. However, that also being said, they are there to support you and assist you in your overall health journey. So this slide is a little bit more in depth, talking about mitochondria. And so that's the part of the cell that's responsible for creating energy. And increases in NAD improves the function of mitochondrial and stem cells, and also enhances energy as well as lifespan. So according to animal studies, they've shown that supplementation can increase longevity, and this is through supporting healthy stem cells. So we've already talked about how stem cells are really affecting so many different parts of our body, and how important they are in the body. So this picture here is showing you an example of glycation. So this stem cell here is filled with glycation and lipofuscin toxins, and is close to cellular death. So you can see that in this picture here, like the little kind of blue dots taking up a large section of the cell. And so it's actually toxins inside the cell. And so then the cell becomes close to dying. So when our stem cells get clogged up, they don't function properly, and it can impact our health tremendously, particularly with this cellular waste. So glycation forms in our body when we have excess sugar molecules and they bind to proteins. And so this forms what's called advanced glycation end products. And it causes inflammation and dryness. It really impacts our skin, but it impacts all our organs as well. So we will see it on our skin because it will accelerate aging, wrinkles, dryness of the skin, inflammation. So we think, oh, well, it's just our skin. It's not just happening on the skin. There's also stuff going on the inside of the body as well. So there are natural things you can do to reduce AGEs, and that's avoiding eating fried foods, bronzed or brown foods. So your brown toast, anything that's brown has bronzing, roasting, that sort of thing. So the best way to reduce AGEs in the diet is having foods cooked through blanching, steaming, boiling. Those are the kind of best ways to cook, but people really like the flavor of roasting and baking and all of that. So it's just finding a happy medium there, and also experimenting with your food. And you really can make food taste really nice, even through methods of blanching and steaming food, because you can add flavor through olive oil and herbs and spices and things like that. So this picture here shows lipofusion damages the skin, and you can see here on the hand of the senior person on the right, the brown spots. And so that's actually damage from lipofusion. It's combined with UV light. So the lipofusion builds up in the cells, and then when the light hits it, it also then creates these brown spots. But it can happen without UV light too. But the UV light will accelerate it, will make it worse. And that's why, it's really important as we age to kind of, if we are concerned about spots on our face and body, also skin cancer, which we do want to be mindful of, but, it's a good idea to cover up. And, we do need some sunlight for health, but we don't want to overdo it. So anyway, that being said, our skin regenerates every 27 days, and we need healthy stem cells for that. So that's really important. And so glycation and lipofusion. So lipofusion also builds up in the heart muscle, in all organs. So you can see this picture here was taken, and you can see that the little spots inside the cells inside the heart there have a cellular waste building up. So your waste builds up from the inside out. Lipofusion can deposit in organs. It can deposit in the eyes. So age-related macular degeneration, we can see accumulation of lipofusion and the retinal pigment epithelium. There, the spot there. We've covered that one. So yeah, we know that it affects the heart and also the brain. So lipofusion can build up in the brain too. Glycation we've just touched on the skin. So actually that was an interesting picture. This is a picture of a truck driver who was doing a lot of driving, and the one side of the face was exposed to the UV light from the driving. So we had this enormous amount of glycation build up and photo aging damage also on the side of the face that had increased UV light. But, glycation contributes to that as well. And it can also exacerbate skin conditions like acne and rosacea. So with the consequences of glycation, it impacts and accelerates things like arthritis, diabetes. I won't go through them all. Renal failure, skin photoaging, osteoporosis. So there's a whole list of things that it contributes to. So really we want to do everything we can to maintain our health. So there are some natural ingredients that do support healthy stem cells, and they do support the body to remove cellular waste, the glycation and the lipofusion, and we're going to touch on those today. So we've got some ingredients here. These are ingredients to look out for that can assist and support the body in these ways. So you've got niacinamide and niacin. So they're both B3. The difference is that niacin will make you flush. So if you've ever had a niacin flush, you can your skin goes all red and you can feel kind of hot flush and even itchy. It's just temporary. It's just the capillaries kind of opening up and the blood supply moving quickly into the surface. Now, that doesn't happen with niacinamide. It is a non-flushing version of B3 and can be taken in much higher doses than niacin. So just to give you a more greater understanding of the benefit of just these two ingredients, and we're just going to touch on each of the ingredients here. So then you can kind of imagine if you had these all ingredients combined together, the power that they could potentially offer. So if we have a look here, and I'm using references here, I've got the windows open. So niacin. So niacin has been used by some practitioners to support depression. It's a powerful antioxidant. It improves circulation and it can reduce cholesterol levels. So you can see here niacin and depression. So depression is a mood disorder characterized by intense feelings of sadness and hopelessness. And basically, they found that niacin deficiency can contribute to depression and mental illness. Niacin deficiency can also contribute and potentially even be a cause of schizophrenia, psychosis. It can result in dementia. So it can result in all of these neurological issues and feelings. So niacin deficiency is something you definitely don't want to have. And the one thing that will accelerate niacin deficiency is alcohol. So if you're drinking alcohol, you tend to have lower levels of niacin because it's one thing that it pulls out of the body. So these are all the things that the deficiency can cause. But the good news is that the benefits of taking niacin is many. And so we'll just go through there. Yes, so you can get a niacin flush, which I've talked about if you have too much. So the benefits of taking niacin, if I just scroll back up to the top of this article, is that it's an antioxidant. It helps with hormone levels, helps with fatty acids, and improves circulation. So there's plenty of benefits there, and also can support feelings of well-being and mood. So that's great to know. The next ingredient I said is niacinamide. So these two are combined together can have a really good effect, both B3, but just different forms. And so niacinamide is slightly, as I said, different to the niacin, but it is used and helps to boost energy levels. And it's a water-soluble vitamin, and it helps. So you can also make B3 from tryptophan, amino acid present in most foods. However, getting that B3 through supplementation can give you that extra boost. So niacinamide, so I'm just going through its uses and benefits here, but it's really great for skin. So fantastic for the skin. Here in this article from Healthline, it's saying it may help prevent melanoma. So there's studies there supporting that. It helps to protect against UV damage, according to this article. It says it may be useful for chronic kidney disease. It may slow the progression of type 1 diabetes. So that's the benefits of niacinamide. And in case, not making any claims, I'm sharing what the research says, and you would need to consult your healthcare provider, if you have concerns or are unwell. So that's niacinamide. I'm just going to flip back to the slide here. Then we've got ribose. So ribose, when you combine it with niacinamide, together form a double covalent bond, and it creates a powerful bond to form a nicotinamide riboside, which is the precursor to boosting NAD levels in the body. So the combination of those three ingredients is really powerful. And I've got a study here on the ribose. So let me just bring that up, hopefully here. Yep, here. So ribose, so it's a part of your DNA. Genetic makeup contains proteins produced by the body. So 5 benefits of ribose. So it may help recovery of energy stores in your cells. Again, this is from Healthline, and these are referenced articles, so you can check them out. It may improve heart function in people with heart disease, may improve symptoms of certain pain disorders, may benefit exercise performance, may improve muscle function. And so there's all the information. So that's ribose. You can read about that particular ingredient there. The next ingredient I want to talk to you about is blueberry, and the pronunciation of this one. So Stilben extract, bit of a tricky one there. I've got the study up here. I just wanted to show you about that one. Yeah, so this one is really shown. This is basically abundantly found in blueberries. It's a special extract from blueberries. So you couldn't really get the same quantity. Consuming blueberries is excellent, highly recommended as a daily food. This particular ingredient is an extract from it, and they've found many benefits from it. So really it's antioxidant power, and it's known as a natural polyphenol. So you can read all about it in the article. This is an article on PubMed and its benefits. So that's another really powerful ingredient that can really support aging. And okay, so it can help to reduce cellular waste as well. So whoops, we go to the next one. Acetyl L-carnitine. This one actually helps reduce cellular waste as well, and helps remove lipofusion and glycation. So we've got a couple of studies here on that one. So let's go and have a quick look at what this has to say. I'm just going to move this bar down the bottom. Yeah, so L-carnitine, acetyl L-carnitine, yep, that's right, So the benefits of this is benefits in neuroinflammation, so in neurodegenerative diseases, so and how it affects mitochondrial metabolism. So it says it shows promise in the treatment of aging and neurodegenerative pathologies by slowing the progression of mental deterioration. So yeah, you can read about that particular ingredient. There's lots of other studies on that. We've got another one here. Where are we here? So I'm just trying to flip back and forward here for you. This particular one, I really wanted to show you this one. So here it is. This one shows that it has evidence in the role of diabetic management, that particular ingredient. You can read about that, and how it could potentially support someone with diabetes, that particular ingredient. So there's lots of great studies there. So alpha-lipoic acid, we'll move on to the next one, helps to neutralize toxins, heavy metals, and enhancing the powerful antioxidant glutathione. So if I have a look at this article here, so just put all the references here for you. And if you want a copy of this, send me an email, happy to send it through to you. So this particular ingredient may support weight loss, lowering blood sugar levels. So this is another powerful ingredient. So it goes on to talk about what it is and how it can actually support weight loss and may assist people with diabetes. It also may reduce skin aging, may slow memory loss, promotes healthy nerve function, reduces inflammation, may help lower heart disease risk factors. So the article goes on to talk about that. So you can read all about that there. So another amazing ingredient, L-carnosine. So I'll open that one. We can have a look at that one. So this one appears to reduce telomere shortening. It aims to reduce it affect the root cause of aging and age-related diseases. So this one is another great nutrient that you can get. And as I said, you can imagine if you were combining all these ingredients together. So it is this mitochondrial axis engine within your cells and burning these fats to create usable energy. So it really helps with energy production. So that is really important. So it helps to give us a nice energy boost as well. I love this one, this ingredient, absolutely love. This is the L5-hydroxytryptophan. So L5-hydroxytryptophan is a naturally occurring chemical in the body. It's a building block to serotonin. So you would have heard people talk about, serotonin levels. Serotonin is your feel-good, happy hormone. So it's a neural transmitter that helps to moderate the transmission of signals between nerve cells, and depression has been associated with low levels of serotonin. So this is a really important ingredient if you want to have feelings of, I guess, general happiness and well-being. So some people genetically just don't absorb or get enough of this particular ingredient, and so low levels can be associated with depression, anxiety, sleep disorders, and weight gain. So this is a fantastic ingredient in itself. It can help with potentially weight loss. The studies are showing it may help with depression. Study shows may help with fibromyalgia. It could help reduce migraine frequency. It may promote sleep. And the article goes on, so you can read about that one. So that's a really fantastic ingredient. And then the last ingredient here that I just quickly wanted to touch on is the DMA bitrate. So this particular ingredient, and you can read all about it here. So they found that advocates believe it may have benefits for several conditions, including attention deficit disorders, Alzheimer's, depression, and dementia. So it is naturally produced by the body, and it is found in foods such as fatty fish, salmon, sardines, and anchovies. So it's believed that it works by increasing the production of ACH, a neurotransmitter that's crucial for helping nerve cells signal. So really important information there, so you can read about that as well. So there's some really powerhouse ingredients that you might want to do some research on. So if we think about naturally supporting our stem cells, if we think about naturally boosting our NAD levels and reducing that glycation and lipofusion, what are the sort of things that we could benefit? How could we benefit from this? So we've talked about skin quite a bit already, and I know I'm 4 minutes over, so I've only got a few more minutes. So you can get really good improvements with these sort of ingredients. I've taken these ingredients and found a really great benefit in my skin. and wrinkles did appear to be diminished. So fantastic for skin. So that's something to feeling happy. I think we've kind of covered that pretty thoroughly. So, our mood affects everything. If we don't feel happy, if we don't feel motivated, we're really life is going to be very difficult. So we want to get our hormones, our neurotransmitter, our mood boosted and balanced. And these ingredients can really help that. So the L5-hydroxytryptophan, DMA bitrate, and the niacin is excellent, and the niacinamide for mood balancing potentially. Sleeping better, so the DMAE can help with mood and may help some people fall asleep faster. Aches and pains, we know that if we address glycation, and I've talked about the natural ways you can do that through your diet, but then there's also ingredients that support that as well, which we've talked about. So that may also support you with your aches and pains. And eyesight, so glycation contributes to retinopathy, loss of vision. So does the lipofusion. So if we can reduce the levels of glycation and lipofusion, then we can really potentially see benefits in our eyesight. And actually, if I just quickly back, and I apologize for going over time, but this was a really important study that I just wanted to share. I'm not sure I opened this one. So this one here, yeah. This particular study here, this is a great one talking about glaucoma. This is from Seniors Discount Club. So it talked about the pressure in the eye. It talked about how people are losing their vision, and the benefits of NAD for eyesight as well. So this is a really interesting article. So if you are interested in any of the articles, send me a message and I'll happy to share this with you. We've done sleep better, we've done aches and pains, eyesight, and memory. So people who utilize some of these ingredients often experience sharper memory, from my experience that people have shared with me. Also, the studies do indicate that glycation is a contributing factor to cardiovascular disease. So we definitely want to do everything we can to reduce glycation in the body, both through a healthy lifestyle, both through our diet, and supporting our body with natural ingredients. So that's really important there as well. Immune support. So if our NAD levels are low, our immune system's just not going to function as well. We know that immune systems of younger people function a lot better than older people, in generally speaking, that's across the board. So that's really important. And also hair growth, hair grows better with good levels of NAD, but also reduction in glycation and lipofusion as well. So overall, we want to feel younger. We do want to bounce out of bed. And there is, from my experience, after speaking to a number of people who have been taking ingredients like these, overall, they have felt better. They have had more energy. They've had better sleep. They've had better mood and just feeling happier. And it's evident in themselves. So in summary, how can I increase my levels of NAD, reduce glycation and lipofusion? So we want to slow aging. We want to age well. So we want to feel our best as we age. We want to look at our diet. So ensuring that our diet is rich in antioxidants and vitamins, eating your 2 fruits and 5 vegetables every day. That's sort of like a mantra of mine. And it's something I really try to follow as well. You're going to get a great amount of fiber, vitamins and minerals from eating those every day. It also helps with glycation as well. Exercising regularly, staying away from tobacco smoke obviously is really important. There's many other things too that we won't cover, but then you may look at natural ingredients to support your body as previously discussed. And so you could look, for those sort of things. So if you found this information useful, please do get back to the person who shared it with you. They can let you know more about these sort of ingredients and have a chat with you about it. And I hope you found that informative. And if you would like a copy, do reach out to me. So thanks for jumping on today, and appreciate you getting on. So have a great day. Thanks, Ian, for co-hosting. Good day.
It's a pleasure, Katie.
Thank you.